All right, I think we're here. First episode of Trouble in Mind podcast. It's actually the 1A episode. We tried doing this yesterday, and Josh apparently didn't pay his Wi-Fi bill, and Richard was at a rally of some kind. So apparently we're all here today, and we're going to give this thing a shot and see if it can make it past the first episode. I am Joe Navron. I'm here with my illustrious co-host, good friends, Josh Petty and Richard Johnson, or I should say Richard Johnson and Josh Petty, so I don't get deemed a racist of any kind. Black
You're a year of color.
So today we have, as our first inaugural guest, Jeff Frederick from Philadelphia. We'll talk to Jeff, see where he's been, what he's been up to, and kind of go back in time a little bit, say, talk about how we all met and some of the fun times we had, right, guys?
That's a good first. This is a good first guess.
I think it is. Jeff was kind of hesitant, maybe whether it was intentional or by other forces, to do interviews, talk, get in the spotlight. But tonight we're going to kind of dig in on some of his past, maybe talk about things he doesn't want to talk about, but we'll see where that goes. Josh,
now he's ready. Jeff Frederick,
you want to introduce yourself for those that don't know who you are?
Yeah, Josh Petty. Grew up in Southern California. Started skating young, like we all do in California. You know, skateboarding at 3 or 4 when I could walk. Surfing when I was
skateboarded.
I used to. Fuck, everybody in California skateboarded.
I didn't. I never skateboarded.
I skateboarded before I rollerbladed.
Yeah, I skateboarded as soon as I could.
Took me away from that shit.
Yeah, I skateboarded as soon as I could fucking walk. That's what you do. And then, if you're in California and you're not fucking skateboarding, surfing, and all that shit, I don't know what you're doing. But anyway,
I was playing real sports. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what the nerds do.
I don't know.
But anyway, so skateboarding at 3, surfing at 5, inlining at 10.
We're getting the full biography, by the way. Here.
Yeah,
go ahead.
What did you do
at 11? What did you do at 12?
Dropped out of high school at 15.
12 and a half.
Tattooed at 16.
Mm-hmm.
The best pro rollerblader in the world at 17.
Till the black man hit the scene.
Till I discovered Richard, of course.
You discovered? Okay. Well, speaking of Richard, why don't you introduce yourself?
All this shit.
Go ahead.
All right. So I'm Richard Johnson. I grew up in Sylmar, California. It's north of LA. I started skating in around 94, 95. I met Joe and Josh around 99, 2000.
Josh and Joe.
Joe and Josh. Josh and Joe.
You got it right the first time.
I've been skating, I don't know how long. That's a long time, like 20-some years.
Oh, yeah, 94.
94.
We're going to do math here. That's 26 years, I think.
Anyways, I
25?
broke my leg in 2014 on a motorcycle accident, so that caused me to stop skating for a long time, pretty much 6 years. I just started skating again now. But now I'm in the automotive industry. I'm an automotive cinematographer, and I shoot for a lot of car companies.
Who would have thought that would have happened? But go ahead.
And I'm in the pharmaceutical and clinical research industry as well.
Just because you're selling pot does not mean that you're in the pharmaceutical industry, motherfucker.
Wow.
It's a pharmaceutical, right?
That's good. That's like me saying, like, because I fucking own a motorcycle shop that I'm an engineer or some shit for Harley.
You know, as crazy as it sounds, it would be weed, but it's not. It's actual pharmaceutical shit.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
All right, we're going to have to fact check Richard a little bit later on that, but for the sake of getting the show going, I think we're going to go to try and add Jeff here.
I mean, are we not doing your intro? I mean, does everybody just know everything about Joe?
I think so. I mean, what else is there to say besides, the greatest videographer that the game has ever seen?
Hands down.
Think about it. If you were in his video, then you blew up. It was just that. But if you didn't make it, there was a reason.
By the way, I'm totally kidding. I'm not the greatest videographer.
Once I started going in your videos, you were.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only time that I was actually considered great. But I was lucky enough to make a number of skate projects that got me to meet these awesome guys and travel around the world with them and learn from a lot of other really amazing videographers. Big shout out to Dave Payne.
Big community of dope people.
Dave Payne.
And
best torque slide in the game.
I will
take credit for. I did. Some people say I invented it. But yeah, so we're here. We're trying to do this podcast for what reason other than killing time? I don't know.
Boredom.
We have already an amazing podcast in our industry known as Jump Street.
Yes.
Everyone
One of my
that
favorites.
doesn't know, which everyone does know, please go watch Jump Street. They are the best. They've been doing this. They are way more polished. We are only doing this to talk about some of the things that we did and experienced, because a lot of people have been asking us to rehash some of those stories. We'll try our best to do it. It was a long time ago. Our minds might not have been.
And you can only get stoned so much before you got to find something else to do.
I don't know. I'm still getting stoned.
I am proudly clean. I'm an honorary member of the. I am an honorary member of the. Not an honorary. I'm an actual member of the California State Bar. So, whatever you two individuals choose to do, it's fine. I'm all for it. But
I can't believe you became a lawyer. That's just so fucking perfect. By the way, we all. He's a pharmaceutical. What is he? Yeah, but no, you're an actual lawyer.
Okay.
Like he's not a real.
Yeah, I just film for companies.
He just plays one on TV, is what they say. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So if anybody needs a bailout, Joe Navron's
yeah, call me. And if you need some, I don't know, Viagra, you call Richard apparently, because he has pharmaceuticals. All right, let's see what Jeff's up to. Let's try to get him in here before he falls asleep on us.
Damn, I haven't seen Jeff in so long.
8:00 on the East Coast.
I saw him last week. I saw him last week.
I saw that topsoil you showed me. That shit was tight.
Yeah, dude. Well, you can't talk about that, bro. That shit's undercover. Like,
well,
Jeff's gonna be pissed now
you've talked about it now. You just talked about the first thing.
Richard didn't get the memo.
He broke the first rule of Fight Club. Jeff, can you hear us?
I did.
Yes.
Yo, dog.
Welcome, Jeff Frederick. Welcome.
Look at Jeff. What's good, boy?
I feel like the four boxes are all even now. We got Richard here too. Jeff, what are you up to, man?
Time.
You should have worn a white T-shirt. We're losing like a whole lot.
Yeah, what's going on?
Like, you going right into the face and everything.
You go outside, they might think you're Antifa with all that black on. I don't know, man. Be careful.
Did you just come off the black block, bro?
Jesus.
Do I need a better light here?
I mean, a light of some kind, maybe an iPhone light. I don't know, something. You summoning demons over there? What's going on? There you go. Now
there we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
I was just thinking earlier, it's actually funny, Richard, I think other than the fact that I was just hanging with Petty this past weekend, but I feel like you were the last person I seen out of the three of you when I was out in Cali.
It was. I was down at your house.
Nah, you saw me in Phoenix.
No.
When you came to Cali.
No, yeah. I came to Cali in like 20. Shit, what was it? It was like 20. It was like beginning of 2013 or something. And remember, you came and met me. I was at the casino playing.
Yeah, I remember.
With my brother.
I remember.
When you met me in Phoenix, you were doing some interstate commerce.
I don't remember when that was. I
yeah,
think
bro.
Clark was helping me out, actually.
You're working some UPS.
Jeff, can you go ahead? We already did our intros. Jeff, can you, for the 3 or 4 or maybe 6 people that actually watch this thing, can you tell them? Can you tell them? Oh, he's got the vino out. Look at this guy.
I got Diet Mountain Dew, and he's got vino. We know.
He's real Italian. Jeff, can you tell us a little about yourself, a little backstory, just fill us in?
A little bit about myself.
How you got into skating. Apparently, Josh, if you didn't know, he's been skating since 3 years old, skateboarding. At 4, he started skateboarding more. At 5, he became a surfer. By 6, he was lifting weights while he skateboarded. He gave us the full biography year by year.
I also was a BMXer for a little bit, too.
And also Richard, we found out, is in the pharmaceutical industry. So,
and Joe's a lawyer, and Jeff's an art critic.
Yep.
No, I don't mess with the art anymore.
What about the glass?
Besides the piece in your back of your room there?
I don't know why this is so. I'll be honest with you. I don't know why this is so dark because it wasn't.
There you go.
Dark.
That's it right there. There you go. You're good there.
It wasn't this dark yesterday, was it?
I don't know, but it's good like that.
That
piece in the back is cool.
There's a lot of questions you asked me there, Joe. I don't know.
Let's get a little backstory. Where how'd you start skating? In the grimy streets of Philadelphia.
I also I started out like most people, I guess, into skateboarding and stuff when I was really young, gleaming the cube days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thrashing.
And I think I had my first pair of rollerblades. Damn, dude, I don't know. When I was in maybe 5th grade or 6th grade, but it was just like a thing that I had them. They were like, dude, it was like those original neon blue rollerblades with the
Zetra 303s.
Yeah,
I had some Phantoms.
The fluorescent yellow wheels. And it wasn't until a couple years later, I never thought anything of it. And a couple years later, it was I guess 7th grade or something. I was at a middle school dance or some goofy shit. Right? And dude, 20 dudes roll up deep on rollerblades. It was like some kid. I think I just told this story when I did the interview with Billy.
Sounds like it's straight out of like Breakin' or something like that. The breakdance movie.
Probably like 20 dudes like roll up squad deep like on skates. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? And long story short, this kid just like jumps on this little tabletop and does like a 180, rides fakie, and does a 360 off. And my mind was just like blown.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck did that dude just do? And I was like, yo, bro, I have skates. Like, can I come out and skate with you guys tomorrow? And literally the next morning, I went out with these three dudes, this kid Frank, Buck, Mike Duthar, and DJ McCorkle. And from that day on, I skated for like the next, like, I don't know.
How did you get on Senate? How did that connection happen? Because that'll segue into what I want to kind of delve into.
Senate basically, and again, and we're tapping into some stuff that I had just kind of gone over this on the recent Jump Street thing. But just to reiterate, basically, I was like trying to get sponsored, and I made a sponsor me tape.
I made a sponsor me tape for Senate too.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, you know, if I'm going to try to, like, I don't know, I guess I always wanted to try to go big. So I said, you know what, if I'm going to try to get sponsored by a company, bro, I'm going to go for the biggest company. And Senate was the biggest
at the time, yeah.
It was the biggest company. And I believe, I forget which tour it was. They were doing some kind of Winnebago tour, and it was like John Ortiz and somebody else was on this. And I said, yo, bro, like, I was like, I want to give my sponsor me tape to
somebody, yeah.
And he's like, all right, dude, well, whatever. And I'm like, no, bro. I'm like, I have it right here. Like,
you were like the rapper on the scene with the mixtape. You were
like,
just trying
whip
to
out this VHS tape. And I'm like, nah, dude. And he's like, yeah, okay. I think John Ortiz was like, yeah, I'll make sure it gets. I'm like, no, dude. I want you to watch this shit right now.
Yeah.
Was John Ortiz on Senate?
Popped it in the, like, they had a VCR on the Winnebago. He popped it in there and they watched it. He was like, it's not bad, dude. It's not bad. I was like, all right.
That's the language of, damn, that shit was tight, but I can't let him know it was too tight. That shit was tight.
And then I don't remember the timeline, but shortly after, like however many months later, dude, I was funny because, you know, I was like 15 years old. And my phone rings and it's Brooke Howard Smith. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this was crazy. And he's like, yo, we got your tape. Your tape, like, made.
Yo, Brooke called me too. Same fucking way. Brooke called me on the tape about my tape.
They
Swear to God.
They gave Brooke that.
I never
job.
got a call back on my tape.
No.
My tape was fire though.
No. So, yeah, dude, he was like, yeah, we want you to ride for the team. And I was just like, holy shit. I remember my boy DJ Whalen was there, you know, and I hung up the phone. We were jumping and screaming and hugging, you know, the whole thing. And, you know, I don't know, man, from there on, it was like, started going out to Cali, you know, obviously linked up with all you guys. And then from, you know, Senate kind of turned into the whole USD thing. And,
yeah,
you know, we were kind of all in that same circle.
Well, that's what I remember. I remember first seeing Jeff, like, showing up on things, and I heard he was getting stuff from Senate. And, you know, I was a cocky little dick back then. And I just saw this new guy.
No,
showing up.
Not you.
And I had this real animosity towards Jeff. I don't know why. I was like, who the fuck is this guy with his attitude trying to come in, you know,
with the same beard,
with the same beard, trying to break in.
He's had the same beard since he was fucking 15 years old.
Me or Jeff? But yeah, so Jeff came out, and then I remember Jeff was the first time I ran into Jeff was at Senate at the offices, and I saw him running out of a bar in some women's clothes, like in a bikini or something, or not a bikini, but like some kind of a ballet outfit. And I was like, this is fucking Jeff Frederick. I didn't know that he got like bet to do it or something. But so it went on for like a while where I just didn't like Jeff.
Is that Josh in the background?
And I remember this guy's playing his own videos in the background. And I think at some point, I remember Jeff and I were at, I think it was Charlie Ashby or someone's house. And Jeff was like, he's like, why do we have beef? Or he said something like random. You just called me out on it. Because I try to be a hell of a cool guy.
I was trying to think about that too after, because I couldn't remember like when. And I actually think that is what I did. I think I just came up to him. I'm like, yo, bro, like
what's the deal?
Why do we even have a problem with each other? And then I think from that day on, you were like, I don't know. And we were just cool.
We didn't know. I didn't know. It was just in my head. And then from that point on, it was like, you became one of my best friends in skating. It was really weird. It was weird how that all happened.
That's crazy. That's pretty sick.
But yeah, there was just some weird, animosity. I don't know what it was, but just being dumb kids with fucking too much freedom and just whatever. But then that ultimately led to us.
I can't hear shit out of this fucking microphone.
Here we go again with this guy. Dave,
we're using the toilet.
Well, because he got the gold one. He was supposed to get the black one.
This is like the worst part to fucking.
We can hear you perfect.
I can hear everybody really nice.
Well, listen, Joe, it was funny.
Okay, now I can fucking hear. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with this fucking microphone.
Josh and I were talking, and he had sent me some things because I was watching the Arlo interview with Adriani. And
can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can all hear you perfect.
This guy's someone hold. You need any like flashcards letting you know, like everyone hold a card up. Okay, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry. Hopefully, Richard can work on this.
It was funny because then after watching his whole interview, then he was talking about your section, Petty, in the video that you guys did together. The what do you believe in video, and I went and watched that whole section again earlier. And it was just too hilarious for me. For one, Aaron Feinberg definitely wins the award for worst acting in history.
And what do you believe in?
Yeah, in that scene with Josh where he's like, who's going to give you a section?
Yeah.
We had to make him do it so many times, too.
Oh, my God. But it was funny because just even seeing that little crew, and I love the way he's edited that, where like it's like Kevin, and it's like the same laugh over.
The same, yeah. And same scene, it just rewinds and it goes to a different.
But it's funny, bro, because it took me back to that whole time when like I used to come out there and just stay with you guys. Because it's almost weird, bro, because it's like, you almost forget that shit. I've been sort of completely away from all this stuff for so many years now. You almost kind of like forget it a little bit, you kind of get. So it was kind of fun taking a little trip down memory lane, remembering all the times we used to hang out at your guys' crib.
Jeff, I feel like exactly the same way because I kind of vanished myself while Richard and Josh were still kind of hanging out, still keeping connected. But my thing was that I always said that I didn't want to stick around and just make videos of people that I didn't know just to get a check, so where Josh was getting hurt, married, everybody else, Richard kind of was stopped skating. A lot of my like main friends, kind of were just getting old, getting out of it. And it was tougher and tougher to do it and make a living. So at that point, I kind of just got burnt out a little bit, which is kind of how I probably transitioned into the whole Franco thing, because making skate videos and also getting like cease and desist all the time for music and shit got old, and trying to license music, I just wasn't into it. So I feel you. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this, is kind of reconnect, but without any other like major goals or wishes. It's just really to kind of talk to some of my old friends and see what the fuck everyone's up to. And that's why we thought of getting you on, because you're the most what I wonder, although me and you have talked over the years pretty regularly about different things. So it's still good to have you on first. I think Josh wants to say something now that his headphones are working.
For me, I don't, on the topic of stopping skating and stuff, once I got hurt a fucking 1,000 times, and probably just like you guys,
your
at some point,
surgeries, man.
at some point you got to fucking get your life on and, put food on the table and, get a family going and, do other parts of life. And if skating can't pay the bills, you lose focus and you start getting into other stuff. Like for me, it was bikes. And
I think that I should say this because Josh won't, and because I was there next to him the whole fucking time, is that people know that Josh had a lot of injuries, but people don't know how bad they were. I saw the guy like literally just living on crutches for half a year, every year for like the last 3 years, taking pain pills. He was going to go at some point to Canada to try to get a cadaver procedure for his meniscus because they didn't have that here. They just wouldn't. Maybe do they do that now, Josh? Do they allow that here now?
They do, man. If they had the fucking shit they have now back then, I would have never fucking stopped. I still can barely fucking walk, but we're
talking bone on bone, and he was just
I got zero
fucked up. So
the fucked up thing is like that. I tell the story all the time. My last time I hurt myself that did the surgery was in What Do You Believe In when we did that big 360 at the fucking UCI. But I tell the story every interview. Like, I can't skate because my knees are fucking blasted.
I'm saying I don't think
nobody ever remembers it.
People,
they don't understand.
I think people understand what you went through, and those surgeries got worse and worse every time I watched you. Like,
horrible.
You're a pretty tough guy most of the time when you're not bitching about your fucking headphones working. But
I'm not crying.
But no, you had it pretty bad.
The pain pills didn't fucking help in the end either. But
all you guys did. So
story.
Well, no, I mean, look, I was fortunate in that respect. As far as injuries go, I mean, look, we all went big in our own way. Maybe some of us went bigger on some other stuff. Like Petty definitely used to go big.
Well, you went big in Bercy, dude. You were going fucking off, dude. At IMYTA.
I went off in IMYTA. I was third at IMYTA.
Fortunate that I never I never busted up my knees or the only thing I ever broke was my wrist, and I did that when I was like
a kid,
16 years old. Yeah.
Didn't you do your ankle at one point? I thought.
I mean, I got. Don't get me wrong. I got fucked up a bunch. I had a lot of injuries, but I never had to deal with something like you had to deal with, multiple knee surgeries or something like that.
Same.
I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. I definitely got wrecked just like all of us did at certain times. There's a few spills that come to mind.
Dude, you're still icing your balls right now, dude.
Well, yeah, I was about to say my whole left ass cheek is blacker than Richard's right now. I had to send a picture to a couple of my buddies of my ass last night. Because my whole left ass cheek is literally black from.
Well, see, you didn't want to talk about it because you're trying to surprise the world, but now you're talking about it. So you might want to explain, because people watching is like, why is he sending photos of his black ass to people? So just for the sake of your being able to walk out in public, you might want to say that you tried dabbling on some skates recently.
Yeah. I might have dabbled.
Shit, tried.
Might have dabbled a little bit.
I see his elbow all tore up. He's trying to show us. We see the elbow scrape, okay? We see the elbow scrape.
Show him that fucking toe of yours, dude. That's what you need to post a picture.
We don't need to see the toe. We don't need to see the toe.
Now it's looking pretty good.
All right.
What skates are you currently on right now?
Oh, go ahead.
What skates are you currently on right now?
I just got a pair of Majestics.
Okay. Damn.
They look sick too.
Yeah.
Some cool skates. Yep.
So Jeff, you were one of the people that were there at the ASA, because part of this all started when Arlo did his interview with Jason. And I wanted to get an unbiased participant's memory, as long ago as it may be, as to what all unfolded that day. When with the slamp into the Slim Jim guy, what's his name?
Macho Man Randy
Savage. Can I get you to kind of touch on what happened in that story? Because Arlo said that it was all for nothing and we were this and that.
Well, I don't know if he said it was all for nothing, because it's funny. I wanted to purposely watch that whole interview because we had talked about this and hear what he said. And let me jump into a couple different things. I'll answer your question first. I mean, first he said, he just thought we were kind of acting like assholes for the sake of being assholes, where obviously you sort of defended your position as that we sort of felt like we weren't being represented properly. So we were kind of, going against the system there, with the ASA, blah, blah, blah. But it's funny, if I have to recollect the whole thing, first off, bro, we were banged up.
I was fucking hammered. I remember that.
First off, we're like 18-year-old kids in Vegas. Me and Matty Mance stole like 3 handles of Bacardi.
Oh, I remember that, dude.
In the circus.
You guys getting hammered in the limo?
They had to stay in the circus. That's right.
I don't even remember, bro. We were so banged up. All I remember is yelling at Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, brother. Screaming it.
Yeah, so for y'all that don't know, that every year the ASA would have an award ceremony after the last event. And the last event was generally in Vegas at some racetrack or something. And they would always have some quasi-celebrity guy show up. That year, I think Slim Jim was the main sponsor. So
yeah.
Lo and behold, Randy Macho Man Savage was there with his wife. And
remember what his wife looked like with the big fake titties, dude? That was fucking hilarious.
See, I don't even remember this.
Dude, he was all decked out in the gear and everything. Had the fucking hat and the fucking.
He did not want to be there. He wanted to be there as bad as we wanted to be there at that award show. So he
needed a check.
I'm sorry, Josh.
Oh, I was just saying, Macho Man needed a fucking check, dude. He'd been paid from wrestling forever.
Trying to get a check. The thing, though, that Arlo, I think, sort of misremembered was, I think he forgot. Like I think it was Fabiola that was like getting the award.
Yeah.
And you went on, and Richard, I would say Joe's like the Kanye West of rollerblading.
She was Taylor Swift or whatever.
Yeah, she was Taylor Swift.
I remembered. That's crazy.
No, that was last night. You don't remember that shit. We were talking about this last night when you were here.
He's saying he remembers the actual.
Yeah, I was there.
But yeah, Fabiola. Sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah, and I think Arlo was saying, well, he was accepting the award. He made it sound like we all ran up on stage and like kind of clowned him or something. But I think he was just saying that they were honoring him with this award, and he was, we were all his friends. So let me segue this to something that kind of was an interesting thing watching this interview. And I think we can all relate to this in some way, shape, or form. Again, having this sort of break from being involved in rollerblading and almost in a way sort of kind of forgetting about that period of your life almost in a little way.
Mm-hmm.
And watching this interview with Arlo today, and he's talking about us, and he's like, Josh Petty and Joe Navron and Jeff Frederick, these guys were my friends. And I almost was like, it was like weird all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, that was like Arlo just like called me his friend. And that was like a weird, like little moment. Because I was trying to explain to my wife earlier, I'm like, it's kind of tough for you to understand, but this dude was like a god when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Like, we looked up to this dude. He was larger than life. And then years later, we were like friends with this guy. So, look, to Arlo's point, were we absolutely fucking young punks that were causing a whole bunch of shit? We absolutely were.
But wasn't that like kind of Arlo's like deal? Was like all counterculture shit? Like,
that's the point.
He speaks to that, but he says he felt like he was doing it for no purpose.
Well, the purpose,
the meaning behind what we were doing.
No, there's meaning. I mean, it's the whole thing with Arlo, like he said in that same interview, how he was anti-team rollerblade and this and that, and counterculture against the system, which is all what we're all fucking about. And then we're here at the contest, and here's Macho Man Randy Savage giving an award out to to. I mean, I don't even.
The real beef was.
I don't know.
The real beef was that, first of all, Arlo got me a job that year shooting with Fox Sports I think Fox Sports did the ASA tour. They did the tour. They put it on Fox. And so they brought me in to like do street sections, right? So they'd show the competition, and then they'd have like supposedly a 3-minute section for street, which they sometimes would. But towards the end, they started being kind of nitpicky as to what they would show and what they wanted me to do. And the ASA was making money. I mean, they were paying Macho Man to come and snap Slim Jim. So they had money. And I was upset that the skaters weren't getting it. A lot of them weren't getting it. And majority of the exposure and the money was going to the vert guys. No disrespect to vert. It just wasn't something that I was ever involved in. But, obviously I felt like all that shit was built off the backs of the street skaters.
Yeah, it was.
And maybe that wasn't the case in Arlo's time. Maybe that wasn't the case before my time, but it damn sure was when we were all doing it. So it was weird that they would build these tournaments or competitions, and then by the time it aired on television, as much as I try to intervene, it would be like 2 or 3 vert guys and then like a little sprinkle of the street guys. So they're like handing out awards, best this, best that, most amazing this, most highest, most crazy air, this, that. It's all just like vert guys, vert people, vert that. And it's like, I obviously was not of right mind, but I went on stage and then I started going nuts. And I don't remember too much, but I remember like people gasped in the audience. And then I remember Cesar Mora of all people running up and grabbing the mic out of my hand.
Yeah, I wish we had video of this.
And I wish we had video of it too. There's video of it somewhere.
I was about to say
but so for Arlo to get up there after that and basically just turn on me and like give this whole speech. Yeah, like they're my friends. Kind of how he did in the Jason interview. You know what I mean? It was like I was surprised. And so I thought it'd be best to have him here. So if we're gonna be like if we're gonna re-bring this up, we can't just do it without him actually having a chance to defend himself. So Arlo, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yeah.
All
Welcome.
right.
How are you doing, sir?
What's good, Arlo?
What's up? Did you just get over?
you. And so I'd like to say, you better keep my name out your mouth.
Well,
Arlo just got out of his ASA meeting right now.
So everyone here knew that you were going to come on except for Jeff. So you really made his day because he just got
really
done
trying
saying,
to get him to say some shit. Really.
Yeah.
This is the second time I'm seeing you today.
There he is. Cool. What's up, Jeff?
So Arlo, we're at the point of the show. We're talking about the ASA award show.
Oh yeah.
And your disappointment in everyone, namely me, for getting on stage and saying what I don't really remember what I said, but what I already just went into my rant about why I did it, because you acted like on Jason's thing that I did it for no reason and there was no just cause for it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I won't rehash what I just said, but basically it came down to you getting me a job with the ASA.
Yeah.
To provide street skating for the show, and then them hardly ever using it. Right. And then we got to this award show that we did every year, and every award was going to vert people, and every time they'd air the shows was all vert skaters. And so I felt like it was that moment where I had to go up and say, fuck all this shit.
Fuck Team Rollerblade.
And the funny part is that most common sense, level-headed people would have also thought what I did was immature and outlandish. But to be scolded by someone who designed the sport in a manner that would have been so counterculture and so in support of what I did, I was a little hurt. So
yeah, no, I can appreciate that, and I can appreciate what you're saying. I mean, obviously, I the way you're saying it now, I identify with everything you're saying, and that all makes sense. In the time, whatever y'all's message was, I didn't get it, so something must have been lost in communication, and maybe. It could just be on me. Maybe I just wasn't listening hard enough. So
I think we were pretty hammered. So that probably had a little bit to do with it.
There's a lot that went on that night.
The way it felt to me was it just felt just sort of like belligerent and drunk and like kind of just sort of reckless. But if there was something more deliberate about it, then I'm sorry that I didn't recognize that.
Yeah, it wasn't a dare. It was.
Well, let me ask you a question, Arlo. So it's funny because you were saying you were probably like late 20s or something, because we were like 18,
19
old, right?
Well, let me ask you, yes, because I think that Lulu's mom was there.
She was.
Right. And so Lulu didn't exist yet, but I got married like when I was like 27. So yeah, I was mid to late 20s.
Around that age. Now,
you were only 27 then, man. I thought you were fucking like mid 30s when I was that
age.
Dude.
Right? Because I've always been, I've always been so much older than everyone. And to young people, old people are all the same. They can't tell the difference between a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old or a 27-year-old.
I think maybe that's what it was. It was that Keller was there, and Arlo wanted to look like really like strong and masculine, and he wanted to get on there and just end that whole thing right in front of her.
I wanted to look like marriage material for sure. Yeah. She's like, "Ooh, that's my man."
Standing
look
up
at him
those
up
young
there.
punks.
Standing up against those young punks.
That we went on tour with right after.
Well, the funny thing is, if you guys all heard the story a million times, but Arlo has this famous moment when the X Games basically dies for rollerblading, where he is in a big interview or big conference room, turns his back to the president or whoever the fuck it was, and starts reading a newspaper or magazine or something, and gets fired on the spot.
I never heard about this. What is this?
You never heard this story?
Come on. Josh, you've been out of rollerblading that long?
I have not heard, dude. When I dipped out of skating, I was out. Dude, I was ghost.
I have told this story so many times, and not just told it, but it's well documented. Barely Dead did a whole animated sequence for it.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, everyone go check that out. I'm not gonna make Arlo rehash that, but my point is that he's done similar things. And
let me ask.
I have no problem with protest at all. I'm all about it. In fact, that was my point at the ASA thing. I said, I get that. I'm all about that. But there's a difference between being a rebel and being an asshole. That was kind of my.
That's actually the exact words I think you used, and so that goes back to my point of you calling me an asshole again. I thought we got past this, but
that was mostly directed toward Jeff.
What
in fact, the only reason I'm here, Joe, the only reason I agreed to come on, because I heard Jeff was on here, is I wanted to hear the story about him and the steak and that poker player.
Oh my God, I knew that was coming.
I haven't heard this story either. Where is
Josh? You were there.
Where have you been? What?
You were there.
Maybe I was just drunk.
I don't know what this is about. So maybe we should talk about this.
Joe, you either?
No, I don't think so.
No, we need to get into that.
Jeff, where was that? Was that like Arizona or something? Where were we?
Like some Indian casino or something.
Yeah, it was like under a big tent, like a permanent tent.
I totally don't remember where it was. It might
Pachanga? Is that like Temecula?
I don't know.
Hawaiian Gardens. If it's California, we're talking about Hawaiian Gardens.
No, it wasn't Hawaiian Gardens. We weren't. I don't think we were at home.
I have a feeling Arlo's right. We were in like Arizona.
Yeah, it was
were you at my house?
Maybe we were at Tempe.
Maybe.
Then you live
but we went to find a poker room, and so we found this poker room. It was under like a giant permanent like white tent.
Yeah.
And they had table service there, and this dude orders like a steak at the table.
Oh, I was there. I think I was there.
Just like, yo, you gonna finish that? And the guy's like, oh no, help yourself. And so he pushes a steak over, and just starts eating the guy's steak.
I remember that.
This is so true. I do remember this. How did you eat another man's steak at a poker table?
Yo, you gonna finish that, dog?
No. If I remember
that's
correctly,
Dave Temple.
And he didn't even touch it. And look, maybe it was not one of my best moments, and I'll admit that. All right?
But it's steak. I mean,
just coming up with the idea that you're gonna ask a stranger at the poker table, like, "Yo, you gonna finish that?"
Could have been a joke that just turned into, "Hey, yeah, take it."
Look, like I said, my memory's not that good. I'm trying to remember if he just never touched it at all. I don't think I took it.
I hope it wasn't half eaten.
He's trying to justify eating another man's
his
steak.
half-eaten steak. But look, I'm not going to lie to you. That might have been one of those times I came out to California with like $1.25 in my pocket.
Remember, that's the time you came out with change. You had a fucking bag of change
in my pocket. So I had some down and out times. Though. Thank you for bringing back those.
That was great, man.
Those nice memories.
The Frederick organization was on its last legs there.
It was in its infancy.
Yeah.
Well, that goes to show how much you were making from Arlo at Senate, I guess. So.
Well, yeah. Rollerblading really wasn't paying the bills for me. I wasn't as big time as you guys.
You mean just Arlo, right?
Yeah.
The big money.
How much money did you make off Senate?
Some pretty good money.
I made cheddar off Senate, dude. I made lots of money off Senate. That was
we
fucking
paid a lot of people.
I used to leave with duffel bags full of fucking clothes from that place.
I left with clothes.
Big yellow duffel bag, fucking socks, white beaters, all of it. It was great.
I made good money from Senate, but I didn't make as much as everybody thinks I made.
I'm thinking you made what, $500,000?
Yeah, how much did you make? I mean, why not? Who cares? It's past tax reporting time. I'm sure you're
It's easy for you to say. I'm still paying taxes because I wasn't paying taxes then. Because
I did that too.
None of us. I wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So I got hit really hard by all that. So I'm still paying that off now.
That sucks.
I owed like $20,000 when I was done skating. I paid it off in like 4 years though, because I had a wife and kid. So they just took all of my fucking money. But I think I made $500,000 or more off skating. If I added it all up.
Oh yeah, if I added it all up, not just Senate, but everything, all the sponsorships, sure, I made pretty good money.
I spent every dime of it on pot and Old English.
At the peak from Senate, I was probably making and you have to remember because we had 5 owners, so we were splitting whatever our profits.
Who were the
owners?
Heineken, BK, Brooke, you.
Brooke.
Who else?
Yeah.
Heineken. Heineken,
Did you say
Brooke.
Aaron Spawn?
No,
Aaron
Spawn. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Aaron
Heineken
Spawn
was an owner
too?
I didn't know that.
Aaron Spawn, Heineken.
What did Spawn do for the company besides have a dumb ramp in his backyard?
Nothing.
That's a good question. For as much as you guys thought that
he had a fucking ramp in his backyard.
He did have a ramp, and he became one of the preeminent ramp builders for action sports. But I don't know. I mean, I guess we thought he had some. He knew more than we did. Thought he'd be a good kind of mentor, business partner. I don't know.
That was a pretty cool story that you were telling to Adriani about just what I was trying to imagine how crazy that scene must have been.
At the house?
Oh my God.
It was wild, yeah.
In the infancy of everything and just waking up dudes from all over the world. Every day just must have been just the craziest.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, literally people sleeping on the ramp and under the ramp outdoors. It was wild, yeah.
Forever I thought that Spawn Ranch was the Spawn Ranch,
No, not
the Manson Spawn Ranch. Like until this movie came out with Brad Pitt in them, just I watched it and I'm like, that wasn't fucking Spawn Ranch. The whole time I'm thinking it's
different
Manson.
Spawn Ranch. Yeah.
Yo, let me ask Arlo a quick question, just to double back to the whole ASA thing. Do you feel like, Arlo, at that point, you had become so involved and so sort of immersed in the sort of, I guess for lack of a better word, corporate culture of like rollerblading and ASA that we became so like, not to say the enemy, but that you were like, oh, those kids, they're just being a bunch of assholes. Like,
I don't think so. I mean, they're ruining my money. It's like Richard said, after that, we went on tour. I mean, Josh and Joe and you guys.
That was a cool tour.
That was my crew. Those were my friends, right? These are the people I hung out with. So it's not like, no, I don't think that was an issue. What happened at that one event was not like indicative of like kind of the whole scene right then or my state of mind. That was a one-off scenario.
I remember after that, I felt no static towards you at all. I didn't even
because you woke up. You didn't remember.
Might have gotten off the NyQuil by then, but
right. It's not like that was like the beginning of some falling out or anything like that.
Yeah, no.
No, if there would have been a falling out, it would have been after the second job that Arlo got me, because I was one bad job. Arlo always got me the worst jobs in rollerblading.
I didn't even. First of all, I've never heard a person so ungrateful for getting jobs, but I didn't remember. I didn't remember any of these stories till you called them out on that last interview.
Not since Monica Lewinsky has someone been more ungrateful for a job.
An elephant never forgets.
What's the other one? I want to hear the other job though.
Who wants to hear about the other job? Is it worth talking about or not? Because it's much more fucked.
I know you got fired real fast from one.
I did. I got fired on day one of this job. So now
that's the one I remember.
Let me put this into perspective. Now
this is from Craig Carroll.
Now Josh is playing a video behind him. It's called the USD tour video or USD coup d'etat. Okay,
coup d'etat.
People have vastly different opinions, but they all generally end with saying that it's one of the better films in the history of rollerblading. Okay, whatever. So I've made this video at this point. I'm literally about to premiere this video. I think that I'm fucking hot shit. I think I'm about to put out this crazy video. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm probably 19, 20 years old. And Arlo's like, hey, do you watch, Hoax 2, right? Do you know Craig Carroll? He's one of the guys that made it. If you want to go work with him, you can do some editing and kind of, start trying to take your shit to a different level. I said, fuck, Hoax 2 for me as a kid, Hoax 2 was the movie. That's what got me into skating. I'm going to go work with Craig Carroll. I have no idea who the fuck he is because there's Evan Stone and Craig Carroll was the names we saw, right? We didn't really know who they were because they weren't in the videos. So I drive all the way up to LA. Oh, you knew them?
Yeah. Hoax 2, baby.
The beginning of Mad Beef.
Well, what I'm saying is we knew them by name, but they weren't actually in any
of the videos. Okay. Yeah.
We didn't know them personally. So
I've never seen them in my life.
I drive to LA. This fucking weirdo with like a massive ponytail comes to the door at his house. I think I'm going to an office. I'm going to a fucking little house. And he's like, yeah.
Give me some coffee.
He's like, you're Joe. All right. So come on in. All right. So this is whoever. The guy's sitting there fucking some other slave editing his shit up. Some furniture fucking commercial or some furniture store or something like that. He's editing away. And I'm literally, like Jeff said earlier, how we had the sponsorship video on him. I have coup d'etat on a fucking mini DV tape in my pocket. Because my plan is that I'm going to play this video for this fucking old bat. And he's going to watch it and say, holy shit.
You are the one.
I'm the one, and we need to make like Hoax 7 or whatever the fuck number they were on. Because they did like Puerto Rico for number 6, I think, was like a whole hoax. And so then I'm like, all right, cool. But I kept trying to like refer to it. I'm like, yeah, I just finished this really big deck. Cool, come on in here. All right. He's like, so this is a printer. You know what a printer is? Like, yeah, I know what a fucking printer is. All right, well, I left it in the back of my Jeep last week. It's fucking still soaking wet. I need you to go down to Office Depot or wherever. I need you to get the cartridges replaced. I need you to figure out how to get this thing running again. Like, the fuck? All right, I guess I've got to do what you got to do. You're first getting in, So I drive down to fucking Office Depot, get the printer fixed, whatever. I come back to the house. Now I'm like preparing in my head how I'm going to show him coup d'etat. I'm going to make this shit happen.
That's just a mission right there.
And I walk in and he says, all right, come here. Have you ever dealt with a locksmith? A fucking locksmith? No, actually, I've never dealt with a locksmith. What do you want to do? I need all the fucking locks changed. He's like, my girl's been coming over here. We broke up. We had a bad thing. I need all the locks changed by the end of the day. All right, well, fuck. I call the locksmith. They come down. They change the locks. And I'm like, am I going to start editing something at some point? No, I don't know. So the fucking slave guy comes up to me and goes, hey, you want to go get some food? Sure, let's go get some food. I go with this fucking scumbag to In-N-Out. We get food. We come back. In-N-Out has great hamburgers with, you can get grilled or regular onions. It's your choice. You can do them together even. You can fucking do anime style. It doesn't matter, but you have onions on the burgers. So I come back to this. And by the way, I'm like fucking dressed nice and everything. I just showered. I like got a haircut. I wanted to look my best.
Your one black button-up shirt you had on.
My one fucking outfit I wear to this thing.
Banana Republic.
And I come back and this fucking asshole pulls me outside like around 4:30 at the end of the day. And he goes, hey, I got to let you know, this just isn't working out. You know, the guys, he says the guys, I'll never forget, he said the guys, there's only one other person there besides him. It was a slave. But he said the guys had been telling me that you had a real funky smell to you. And so, so we're gonna have to let you go. But I just would advise you next time you go in in an internship or a job that you make sure, you know, you come in clean and you smell good and, you know, you take it seriously. All right.
Yeah.
So this is why you went on the onions trip.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Because that's the only thing I could think it was. Right. And I'm like,
that's what it was for sure.
Because the room did smell kind of bad, and it was me and the slave eating our burgers in the rooms because it was In-N-Out. It smelled like In-N-Out, and it was a fucking hot ass. This guy didn't even have air conditioning in his fucking dirty ass house, and that's
why you told me you quit. That's why I remember you said you quit.
Well, yeah,
pretty much it's like, yeah, I quit because
I didn't quit. I got fired for allegedly smelling like onions. But
you got fired for like your Persian musk.
I guess.
So Joe, I'm glad you told this story because when it came up with that in that other interview, that was the only thing I could remember about it was that you told me, or that he said that he fired you because you smelled bad. But I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to put it out there. I didn't know if that's embarrassing.
I was wondering why you didn't say it. I was like,
yeah, because I didn't want to put Joe's business out there. I mean, it's like an embarrassing thing to say, but for Joe to tell it, it's so funny.
Well, it's not. I mean,
because it's his perspective.
It's not embarrassing. It's just stupid, but it's, you know.
Well, it's not embarrassing now.
It's more embarrassing.
It's more embarrassing if you would have said it in the interview because on the other side, yeah.
It's better to come from Joe than me.
It's fine. It's more embarrassing to be Craig Carroll, whose IMDb says he's a producer and director known for Rocket Dreams in 2002, Behind Enemy Lines, The Making of Return to Castle Wolfenstein 2001, and don't forget The Skate Tricks in 1999. So fuck you, Craig Carroll, and fuck your whack-ass movies that no one ever watched. I hope you got your fucking doors locks chained.
Well, Joe, the best part is at the end when Arlo takes another little shot at it and he goes, Randy Spicer got me a bunch of jobs. He's like, but I didn't do like Joe Navron and get fired from all of them.
Yeah. One of them I deserved, one of them I did not. So if you're ever out looking for a job, don't send your LinkedIn to Arlo and have him send it around.
Arlo, do you remember the time at Circus in Las Vegas when Brooke tried to kill me because I smashed his face up against the wall? Do you remember that?
No, I remember Aaron like trap balls down the stairs.
No, like one time, like me and Brooke were walking along, we were drunk, and he was like grabbing me all weird, and I grabbed his face and smashed it up against like a banister thing that when we were walking by. Yeah. And he paced outside of my fucking hotel room.
Oh, really?
Smashing shit in the hallway for about an hour, screaming and So I didn't know if you remembered it because I couldn't remember it all that well.
No, it sounds like he pulled a Mark Corte. I remember him pacing outside my hotel waiting to kill me after Los
Angeles. That was in France.
No,
that was in France. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Bercy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember that one. Yeah, dude, Mark Heineken or Mark Corte. Corte is the shit, dude.
Militant.
Well, did you know that Jeff is skating again? He was trying to keep it secret, but the hat's out of the bag, and I may have seen him.
We're gonna have to post that clip now. I mean,
I already posted it.
You did?
No, I'm kidding.
No, dude, so this is I want to tell this story because
it's gonna be funniest coming from Josh.
So 3 weeks ago or maybe a month ago, this quarantine thing happened, and I'm hitting up Jeff going, well, you should skate. He goes, yo, bro, what are you doing? Like you having like a fucking midlife crisis or something, dog? What the fuck's going? And I'm like, no, I mean, my back's fucked up. I'm just trying to get. You should try it though, skate down. No, dude, I don't want to fuck myself up. I'm training. So then a week later, like he hits me up like, yo, I'm thinking about going out and skating a little bit. I'm like, okay, yeah, thinking. So, and anyway, we end up meeting up or whatever. I'm thinking this motherfucker's doing like me, like pathetic little soul grinds and shit on curbs and whatnot, trying to get back into. He goes, I roll up to Philly, the shittiest fucking streets in the world and the ghettoest place I've ever been to besides Memphis. But anyway, I roll up and he goes, dude, I just fucking switch top sold this fucking kink rail and I fucking busted my ass. I hit it switch, I hit it natural. And then I see the video. This guy's going 100 fucking miles an hour at this kink rail. Hasn't skated in 10 fucking years and is trying switch ups on it. Like, I can't even jump on the curb barely. And this fucker's like trying to disaster this rail. What the fuck are you thinking, dude? You're 40, bro.
You 40? You 40?
I'm 39. I'm not 40 until February.
Close enough, dude.
Woo. 39 this year too, man.
Not that there's anything wrong with being in your 40s.
Well, I'm 40.
Oh, no. I'm 39.
Who's 40?
I'm 40.
Who, Richard?
Me.
No, him.
Joe.
Joe's 40. I'm 38.
Damn. Good.
What do you mean,
Respect.
damn? No respect.
That's old.
I'm 39 and a half. No respect for me.
Respect.
The body of a fucking 80-year-old.
4 decades, baby.
Yeah, talk to me when you turn 40.
Yeah, I'm halfway through my life already.
All right. Well, look, I think we gave Arlo his chance to defend himself. I think he copped out. And
does he have to go?
I think he has to go. He has to go.
Congratulations on the show. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you, Arlo.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming out.
Later. Bye.
Later.
So
there we go.
He couldn't get out fast enough.
Are you kidding me? This is his 4th podcast of the week. There's no one that likes to hear himself talk more than Arlo. So don't let the wave.
Don't let that fool you.
He's sitting there right now. Like, did I say
dude,
everything
are you
right?
watching that in the background there? Like, oh, dude, that guy is fucking legit.
Well, the best was that Arlo was on there at one point in the back talking about someone, and I saw his eyes just looking up like this, just the whole time at himself, just like enamored with himself, like he kept catching it.
Nobody loves himself more than Arlo, and that's saying a lot because I love myself a lot.
I was about to say, coming from you, that's a serious statement.
See, the problem with Josh is this, like with the whole style change things that everyone knows he's famous for, is that whether it was the Wu-Tang and all that shit, the problem now is that he's fucking tatted up, and there's no way to get rid of that shit. So he's bound by this new fucking style.
Yeah, one style now.
So it's it. This is it.
I've done some cowboy shit recently. I've dabbled. Don't worry. I make it happen.
I'm just saying you're limited now from the Jim Morrison. I mean, you wore the same sweaty. You're talking about stinky ass leather pants.
Leather pants, dude.
For fucking 6 months in the heat of summer.
God damn, I remember those pants.
My wife still wishes I had those leather pants. She's like, dude, what'd you do with the pants? You should have kept them fucking things.
It can't be that hard to find, I'm sure.
Joe, how many different places did you guys live in? Like in
I one time counted it, actually. We lived in
Aspens.
We lived in 9 different places in the span of 7 years.
I was about to say,
we never got a lease renewed. Never got a lease renewed.
We would never get an offer to get it. Or if we did, it would be the most fucked up, like super expensive rent. I mean, our first apartment, which is the Aspens in South Coast by South Coast Plaza.
Remember the ants?
We had an ant war. We had 2 types of ants.
Which place was this?
They built a colony in the house, and they were fighting. And so we were just like, we gave up. We tried getting rid of them and everything. Like the exterminator came out one day and he was like, it's too bad. Like this house is done. So we just kind of got used to it. We let the ants have half the apartment and we took the other half. We just tried to keep our area real clean, but it was real bad, man. That place.
Carpet. Imagine what they did with that fucking carpet after that shit, dude. But Jeff, you remember that we fucking did acid you got me acid the first time, and we watched Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas at that fucking place. You remember that?
Vaguely.
maybe it was more important to me because it was my first time.
I did acid. As he's playing in the background of his own video.
That might actually be waking up from that acid trip right there.
I remember, if we're going to talk about acid, I remember Josh trying to run into traffic after a rave on acid. And he kept saying that the only way out is through the road or something, or the only way out is through the headlights. And so we kept running into traffic, like cars were flying by. We had to hold him down physically.
Was that when I called you because I was having a panic attack for you to come pick me up?
That was everybody.
No, I think I was there this time, but there was a couple times we did that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that at a different time. We've been here long enough, Jeff. Thank you for coming on. I think people know that there's some stuff in the works with you. Mm-hmm. Should be fun to see if it actually happens. Hopefully your black ass becomes a little more beige. or natural
ice,
color.
ice those balls, my friend.
I've been icing my ass for the past 5 days. I'm about to go put in. Oh, look, I'm in the background, Josh.
Yeah.
And I will say that
I
think people are going to be surprised when they see your footage, because I was surprised.
Yo, he still looks just like that when he's skating. We're skating.
That's how I got my true top points right there.
Yeah, we're skating this big ledge. He's like, I think I'm just gonna fucking true top tall. My feet will be right there. It'll be easier than a fucking Royale, dude. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, that's just how it was back then. He just had certain tricks more than others.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying to him the other day.
I mimicked every single one of these tricks in this video.
What'd you do?
I mimicked all those tricks. I used to think I was.
Get out of here.
I swear, bro. How do you think I got so good? All I did was watch Joe's videos. First time I saw Amateur and I saw Elements, that shit set me off. Like, a homie introduced me to those videos. I was at his house and he showed me them because I just started skating and I was obsessed. I would skate 20 hours a day.
You were fucking the best skater I'd ever fucking
When I met Josh, they
life.
took me to El Toro. And the first thing Josh tells me is, hey, Aaron Feinberg true fished this rail in that Solomon video. And I said, oh, like this? And I did it first try.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was amazing. Like, it was a trip. We were like, what's going on? Who is this kid?
I remember when we found him and it was just like, dude, this fucking guy, like, besides being really good, like, we
didn't find him. I think Matt Mickey introduced us to him. So
well, I mean, I'm not saying like we discovered him, but when me and you first saw him,
when we encountered him for the first time, I think we were all blown away.
Yeah, Matt Mickey did tell us about you first. Yeah, I remember.
Matt Mickey was blown away, but he was more blown away that I was gonna film a section for Joe. So filming for him and Joe at the same time, I had twice as many clips for like 3 sections. But he didn't want to make me a section in his video. He thought that Joe should introduce me to the world first. So that's why we did that.
I remember that. I was like, dude, this dude is going to be the fucking one, dude. Like, this guy is insanely good.
And then hold down and that shit premiering right there, that shit changed my life.
What year did you guys link up? Like, what year was that?
2000.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know how I ended up moving in with them.
When did you come out and stay with me? You came out what, like 2002?
I can't even remember. I don't even know when it was. But
wait. Move in? You mean when you stayed on our couch for a few months? Like, was that you moving in?
Hey, that wasn't the streets. That was moving in. I was on probation.
I thought you were just,
no. If that's the case, hanging out. You owe us some back rent, Josh.
Yeah,
your ass might be in arrears right now, bro.
Yeah, send me some pharmaceuticals, bro.
Text me the address. I got you.
I need some.
I don't even know. I don't even know when it was when I came out.
Well, Joe, are you kicking me off?
I'm kicking you off. I'm kicking everyone off. This thing has gone on. Let's see. Let's call it a night there. I think we touched on some good things.
Well, we'll just take out the part where I didn't have a fucking it could hear. We'll just edit that fucking part right out.
We'll try our best. Maybe maybe that should be in here. But we'll update this with Jeff's progress, and if we're still around past episode 1, we will let the people see what Mr. Frederick is up to, and I think they're going to be greatly surprised and impressed.
Oh, dude, if we're doing more episodes, I'll do them by myself if I got to. Fuck.
You can't even get the volume to work, so you just sit back.
It'll be way easier just me because I can pause it and I fix my shit.
Big dreamer over there. Jeff, thank you so much. As I said earlier, for coming on this first one. It was a little disorganized and scrambled. Luckily, we were able to get Richard to bless us with his presence this time, and Josh was able to figure out which way the headphone jack goes into the headphone connection, and so we got to go on
some electricity from my neighbor to fix this next time.
But we'll link up with you again, brother. Hope I see you out here in Cali.
I look forward to the next episode.
Yes, sir. You stay safe out there and ice your ass or whatever you got to do tonight. And
I'll do it right now. I'm gonna put an icy hot patch on my head.
Ice your bowls.
All right, brother. Later, everybody.
Later.